The siren in Dawsonville, Georgia is blaring because their boy Chase Elliott took home his second career Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series victory here at Talladega. And oh my god, what a race did we just saw. Welcome to the NASCAR MDK Pro Race Show. I am your host, Jack Krause. Let's get right into it with the result. Chase Elliott wins the Geico 500. That's his second victory in his Cup Series career. The race started out pretty intense on lap 5, I believe it was, when Bubba Wallace made contact with Ryan Blaney, or Bubba Wallace trying to get to the inside of Blaney. Instead, he clipped the left rear of Blaney's car. That sent Bubba all the way down to the apron, got loose, tried to overcorrect it, and then collected up a good portion of field, collected Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer, Michael McDowell. And yeah, then we saw, surprisingly, we saw the Ford drivers, like they were the strong ones. Like Ford overall dominated the race with Keselowski, Logano as really the aggressive group. But then once we got onto stage one, and then with stage one was won by Ty Dillon due to pit strategies, and so Ty Dillon won his second stage of that day. Stage two was a bit more tame, I guess you could say. It was a lot more single file, but more pit strategy type racing, more communication, so to speak. And Chase Elliott, the Chevy drivers, really dominated the second portion of stage two. I believe it was Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, and William Byron led the top three at the end of stage two. So that, really from that point on to the end of the race was when we saw the Hendrick drivers show their stuff. They were able to hold that bottom lane, and really no one could really pass them. Like, we saw a lot of action going on, but not really much up front. We did see some good racing, a lot of some aggressive blocking that should have resulted in some crashes. We had our first accident at the end of stage three, which I believe was around 6 to go. When Chris Buescher got turned by Eric Almirola, I think it was, and then got clamoured by Matt DiBenedetto, and then Justin Haley, unfortunate run for him. They both suffered big time hits, but luckily all of them were okay. And then we came down to 2 laps to go. Chase Elliott took the white flag, and as soon as the white flag comes out, Ricky Stenhouse, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he got loose or got turned, but he hit the outside wall pretty good and stopped right in front of, not on the racetrack, but near the aprons, on the below the yellow line, right after the start finish line. So I assumed that a caution would come out. NASCAR let them race until the back straightaway. That was a voice crack. Until the back straightaway, where all hell broke loose. You see William Byron, Paul Menard, but then we look at the 2 drivers. Jeffrey Earnhardt hit the wall hard, but Kyle Larson, you see there, as he headed to that inside wall, the back end started to lift up just a bit, and by the time he hit the wall, Larson just tumbled. I believe 5 or 6 times he tumbled into the air. It looked pretty horrific, especially the way the front end was just almost ripping out of the race car. Luckily, he was okay. The caution obviously came out at that time, and Chase Elliott won the race. Take a look now at the unofficial results from Talladega Super Speedway. Chase Elliott wins with Alex Bowman in second, Ryan Preece, the rookie, in third, Joe Logano in fourth, Dino Hemrick, another rookie, in fifth, Kurt Busch sixth, Brian Newman seventh, Brendan Gaughan in eighth. Awesome run for him. Eric Almirola in ninth, Kyle Busch 10th, Corey LaJoie 11th, Daniel Suarez 12th, Brad Keselowski 13th, Austin Dillon 14th, Ryan Blaney 15th, Paul Menard 16th, Ty Dillon stage 1 winner in 17th, Reed Thornton 18th, Eric Jones 19th, and the reason why, he got turned, or either got turned or got loose in turns 3 and 4 with 2 laps to go. So as a result, he finished 19th, and then Martin Truex Jr. rounds out the top 20. Now, what am I going to rate this race? I mean, I give this a 9.5 out of 10. This race, from start to finish, was just amazing. There was that point in time around stage 2, I believe, where we saw some freight trains, so I was a bit disappointed by that. But overall, I mean, the racing was just incredible from the first lap to the final lap. It was just action-packed, especially those last 12 or 11 laps. The blocking was amped up. The intensity was amped up tremendously, and it made for some really exciting but also very goosebump type moments. Especially in turns 3 and 4, where Blaney was getting pushed by Martin Truex Jr., I believe it was, and he was squirreling. He was out of control and somehow didn't crash, but moments like that happened throughout the race made Talladega possibly race of the year. Maybe, I don't know. But I say it's tied with Bristol. Or maybe right below it, but it's there. It's in the running. But yeah. Now, we have to talk about the crash that took place on the final lap with Kyle Larson. we saw when NASCAR added that wicker bill at the end of first practice, the speeds went up 2 miles an hour faster. It was 202, then it became 204. The fact that Kyle Larson flipped on his own, I should remind you, it wasn't that he got hit, he got T-boned and that lifted, or we didn't see he got ran under like what we saw happen to Chris Buescher, someone ran in the back of him and that lifted the car up. He got turned on his own. That is gonna freak out NASCAR, because we've seen NASCAR go to different lanes to slow these cars down to prevent things like this from happening. So I won't be surprised if you see by the time we come back to Homestead, you might see maybe like a bigger tapered spacer or a different aero package, which is a shame because this aero package was great. This is the perfect package for the Gen 6 car, I feel like. It was overall just a great race. You could run up to the driver. Yes, you would stall out a bit, but it wasn't to the point where you needed so many people. You could run by yourself, not make moves by yourself, or like maybe you might need 1 or 2 drivers instead of 5 or 6. Like, it was a really great race, awesome race to watch. Yeah, but that Kyle Larson one, I've seen people freaked out about it. I think it's a part of racing. I mean, when you're having drivers race over 190 miles an hour, stuff like this is going to happen. Now, yes, it is weird and unsafe, the fact that Larson got turned by itself, but as you can see the crash behind me, but you have to understand that this is Talladega. Stuff like this can happen. When you're going at a high rate of speed, it doesn't matter how fast you're going, 190 or 200. When you're going at that speed, there is a possibility you can get turned upside down. I don't think that, this should, I do think it should be slowed down just a little bit, like right below 200, because these drivers could easily gone over 200. They were going 201, 202 in the closing lap. So maybe just add maybe a bigger tapered spacer just to bring it down just a tad bit. I don't know. That's really the only thing I can say of. I will say this. I was also very shocked that NASCAR did not throw out the caution when Stenhouse hit the wall, because we'll show a video of it right now. Stenhouse, he hit the wall. He stopped, again, right near the start-finish line. It wasn't like he was near the wall where no one was going to hit him or out of harm's way. He was there. So I was expecting, okay, caution is going to come out on the back straightaway or in turns 3 and 4 for Stenhouse. But then that crash in the back straightaway took good care of that. So, yeah, Chase Elliott becomes the 6th different winner of the season. He will automatically be locked onto the playoffs. And, yeah, this was a great way to close out the end of April. And I just can't believe it. I'm in shock that Talladega was this good of a race. Again, we had the unpredictability made the race that much more exciting, and it delivered on impact. So, yeah, what a race. Congratulations to Chase Elliott. I'm also thankful that Kyle Larson, and I don't know about Jeffrey Earnhardt, but I believe he's alright. But I'm happy to know that Kyle Larson is alright, because that was a nasty crash. Thank you so much for watching the NASCAR MDK post-race show. Tell me, what do you guys think of the race? I give this race, like I said, a 9.5 out of 10. It was a fantastic battle, but tell me, what do you guys think of the race down below? And do you think NASCAR should have thrown the caution before that crash took place on the back straightaway? And finally, do you think NASCAR should make a rule adjustment following as a result of Kyle Larson's crash? Do you think NASCAR should make a rule package adjustment, or should they just let it be the same when we go back to Daytona in July? So yeah, once again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jay Cross from NASCAR on MDK, and I'll see you guys in the next video.